What's going on, fam? I'm Josh. You can call me Anoriand, and this is Gladius, one of the best underrated gems of the PS2, GameCube, Xbox era. Now, when I originally played it back in the day, I got a copy of it for GameCube and played the mess out of this game, and I'm so excited to play it with y'all. I may do the full game as a series. It is a bit long in the tooth, so I'm not sure yet. We'll see. But God, I love this game so much. But right now, I'm actually playing it on Xbox, on my Series X, because Xbox this year did a update of the backwards compatible games for the system, and it was a massive drop of classic Xbox games, and this was among them. So I found a disc of it for $12, and I'm playing it that way since I can just run it in straight HD, and hopefully maybe even slightly like cleaner and smoother because of some of the stuff they have going on. There's not a lot of choices. I will turn on subtitles real quick because we support accessibility here. When you start the game, now you choose between the two characters. I will tell you right now, no matter which one you choose, you will get both of them joining you before all is said and done as part of the story. You either start with Valen's, and then there's 4 regions to the world map. You either start in Valen's region and then go to Ursula's, or you start in Ursula's region and go to Valen's. It's one or the other. I'm gonna start with Valen's because I just like him a lot. I do. But I can tell by looking at this, there is absolutely some smoothing going on here via the Xbox, and I'm not upset about it. Although at base, the game already was good stuff. Oh, I'm excited. Great thing about this is a LucasArts game that has nothing to do with Star Wars, and also has great voice acting, by the way.
It was an evening like many others, as Imperia's greatest gladiator walked home with his son after another victorious day at the games.
Yeah.
But the cycle of evil would begin anew this night. Not even the Affinity Gods could have saved Imperia's chosen hero, Munio, from his fate that evening.
No darkness! Yeah, no, but for real, the game starts off, it's an RPG.
Valens, the favored son of Imperia, was spared that tragic night.
So your dad dies right away, but you survive. And you have this broken, cool pendant. And then you come here, and we've got Valens, and we got his best friend, Ludo.
You must be joking, Valens. How long have we fought side by side?
For as long as I can remember.
Shout out to Jason Marsden, by the way.
It's been 11 years, ever since my father died in the games. Munio took me in and treated me as a son.
This is where I always associate him with.
Treated me like a brother.
My father was only repaying a valiant hero.
Oh, hold on. While this is playing, I gotta
I'm
do
sure
it.
it would have been the same for anyone who fought for him. My father wasn't anything special.
Don't say that.
It's the truth.
I had to fix the
Nothing dies in the
TV
games
over here.
anymore. There it is. It's time to begin.
Yes. This school is my father's greatest legacy. We must carry it on in his name.
If this school is going to be successful, it needs a strong warrior to guide it. Show me how much you want to be the leader.
You can't.
Get the idea? Oh, yeah.
Fight by your side to the very end, Valens, but you must prove yourself worthy of such devotion.
Always a flair for
I want to repeat.
Pluto.
Shout out to Jason Marsden. This is where I recognize his voice from all the time. I really want to run into him at a con one day so I can have him sign my copy of this game. Like, sign the box, because that is... I just love him as Ludo.
Now remember, we're just sparring.
Don't worry.
So what kind of game is this? I mean, you know LucasArts. This is the same time where they came out with Knights of the Old Republic and things like that, right? Well, Gladius... is a turn-based strategy RPG, actually. So I'm gonna hit strike, because I can't move, and you'll understand why. It teaches you stuff as you go on. But you see this little meter come up at the bottom. Now, you can go meterless in this game, and I may eventually do that, but one of the things this game had is, like, when you were attack, you have this at the bottom. So you can swing. If you hit in the yellow, that's a normal hit. If you try and hit it in the red, you get a critical hit. But if you nail it in the blue, you either can miss or you deal lesser damage. So it's like a risk versus reward thing. The red will also fluctuate in size based on your level, your stats, things like that, your ability to more consistently do things. 3 and hitcha! Oh, did I just barely not come in? Nah, whatever.
Son of the greatest gladiator in the land, and this is all you got?
I love it.
Not be drawn in by your taunts, Rito. It is the weapon of a weak warrior.
Valens is cool.
Yourself.
He's calm, he's collected. Ludo, he talks some shit, okay? Empower self! I didn't use that, obviously, but you'll see it's something that gets automatically used.
Seems your father taught you a few tricks he never shared with me.
Be aware of your connection to the gods, he used to say. It was his gift to me.
That Empower Self move is very handy.
To best me.
Nope. Actually won't, is the thing. Alright. And then you just... Hacha! Knocked him down. But, before we can continue...
You had enough?
For certain. If you continue to fight like that, our school should do well in the game.
There's a lot of great things about this game.
It's a team sport. I couldn't do it without
But yeah, now I'm not thinking I'm gonna go through all of the tutorial stuff here on camera because, like, tutorial, it does go on for a bit. It explains a bunch of different things. I'm considering right now, like, I'm gonna talk for a bit, but I might just cut to the other side of the tutorial and fill you all in on things that I think you need to know.
It is a great honor to fight for you, Master Eustace.
No, you fight for yourselves here.
There's a lot of voice acting in this also.
Further along than I thought. Munio has taught you both very well.
Master Eustace.
That means a great deal to me.
But we still have much trade.
It's a Roman world, and some of them are English, and some of us are British, and none of that matters.
Before I forget,
What is this?
a memento of your father's. I was waiting for an appropriate time.
You remember that image of, like, the shattered
It was a symbol of
talisman
Munio's dedication to
from
the
earlier on?
He felt the games were an outlet for mankind's violence and rage.
Okay, so there is actually a pretty in-depth cutscene that plays before the game that tells you that in the days before, like in the earlier time of this world, there was a war between Imperia, the realm we're in right now, and Nordog, which is the neighboring realm, and that is the realm that Ursula lives in. And it brought about the return of a dark demon being, and there are affinity gods. There were Valkyrie that were summoned to defeat this thing. The affinity gods had to empower the queen of the Valkyrie. The Valkyrie got all but destroyed as a result of there is a lot of lore. It's a LucasArts game. They make Star Wars. Okay? Like, it's what you're gonna get. But now they have the Imperial Games as a way of, like, venting out the frustrations and rages of the world and of handling international relations and so forth. We can now begin your instruction. Do you feel you know enough to skip this lesson? You let me skip training? That's great, I already know what I'm doing. I understand. There's nothing here that can't be learned from your League training manual. Hold on, I do want to show that off, because it's very cool. Hold on. It's right around the corner. I should have had it next to me, but I didn't. Okay? Here's the game, right? Again, this is the Xbox version. I also have the GameCube version, but it's put away, and I don't have, like, my HDMI cables yet for all that set up and what have you. But I can tell you now the manual is essentially identical. The manual looks like this, and it says on it, League Training Manual. And so they presented the whole thing like this was literally supposed to be like your League manual for going in. It's a very, very cool little thing. I miss manuals and things because of that. I miss a game's ability to, like, aesthetically build itself as a presented package for a consumer. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so now you get to an idea of just what you're looking at here. Saving to the hard disk. Boom, save complete. Day one. We got a lot of days in our future, folks. And so now you see there's a world map you can travel between location to location. PIRGOS is a very reputable beginner league. Besides, I'd like to begin your training a little further away from the center of Imperia. Yes, better to build our skills before entering the major games.
Ludo, wait, I think this is it. Yes, I am sure of it.
What are you talking about? The stump? The road?
No, no. We used to sit on this hill and watch the warriors train below. Remember? We practiced along with them.
Yes, with sticks and rocks.
It was not about the weapons. It was about hero worship.
Yeah, there's
And we never thought we'd have the chance.
parasocial relationships, but you know.
Now here we are. It does seem daunting now. We barely have enough equipment to compete.
Every Imperial champion has to start somewhere, Valens. I believe that we are destined.
Ludo, unironically, given some real advice. Everyone starts somewhere.
We're not making it to the next town alive.
Let's concentrate. And then both of them are kind of saying the same thing. Let's concentrate to make it to the next town alive. For you out there, I'm about to get mushy. Every person starts somewhere, and you don't have to worry about getting all the way there. You just gotta worry about making it to the next day alive. Make it from today to tomorrow. Do a little something from today to tomorrow. That's it. That's it, day by day. And eventually you'll look back and you'll go, holy crap, how far did I come? Why? Because that's how the journey works. But now let's pay attention to the game. Here's a place where you'll register for league battles. Each location that hosts official battles has a league officer.
Manage the interactions between schools and leagues.
I'll just let him talk, you know.
Welcome, Valens and Ludo. I'll walk you through the registration process now.
They actually have all types of information everywhere, but there's a couple of things I want to bring your attention to. Your goal is to win our town's tournament. If you're successful, your school will be given an official certificate of completion. Why do we need a certificate? Because, Valens, to be a champion school, you must show you've mastered tournaments from many locations. The certificates are needed before you may enter the high tournaments in Caltha. That's kind of the Elite Four of this game. The Indigo Plateau, if you will. You're going through all these different places. You have to defeat tournaments in all these different locations, and when you beat them all, eventually you can enter the big tournament in Caltha, which is like the end game situation. Great, then let's enter the PIRGOS tournament. Not just yet, young warrior. Though your father's name carries with it a history of champions, we've never seen you fight in the games. All schools must prove they're competent before we allow them in our local tournament. The crowds pay good money to view these battles. It would be bad for business if we put on a poor show. Okay, then what must you do before we can enter? Shouldn't we be fighting by now? Soon enough, Ludo. Each office rents out its arena to a number of leagues. These leagues host battles to entertain the crowds. Leagues are constantly looking for schools to fight in the battles they put on. These leagues make money by entertaining the crowds and collecting a fee. I'm sure you're anxious to begin. Let's get your school a talisman so you can start entering leagues. Excellent. Exactly why we're here, Arato. We need a talisman for Imperia. It proves we have undergone the basic trials for this land and are worthy of fighting before paying crowds. That's correct, Eustace. Take your young warriors through the certification battles, and then we will talk more of tournaments. Basic training? Fine, come on, Valens. Let's get this over with. To the games! All right, so, couple of pieces of information. Dang it! Okay, here we go. PIRGOS Arena up at the top. That is where we currently are, obviously. That little lock in the top right, you'll see my finger is not always gonna match the actual direction. It's because I'm kind of flipped, obviously, mirrored, because I'm on a webcam. I'll try to keep that in mind. But so the lock symbol up on the top right, my left, your right, that would be whether or not you have the tournament beaten for the area. You can see there's tournaments, leagues, recruiting, and history, although obviously right now all we can do is leagues. We'll get into the rest of that, it becomes available. And then you see at the bottom, the Amet, 0% and 2500D. We're in the amateur rank right now. 0% approval. That will come up later. And then 2500, bucks, dollars, gold dollars, dollar gold. So you go in leagues, and then in leagues right now, the only one available is PIRGOS training, though more will populate when we're done with this. But this is the required sort of tutorial basic thing you can do. Now notice it says 0 out of 6, and at the top you've got 0 out of 4 cups. You need to collect 4 beaten leagues to unlock the ability to go to the tournament. To beat a league, you have to beat however many of its challenges. It's not always every single challenge. Sometimes you can get a bit strategic with it. You'll understand why as we go in. But details, if I push Y, You can see you win 100 to 300 bucks, and you get an Imperia talisman, which is what you get to be able to play in any other battles whatsoever. You need 6 battle points to beat this league. Each battle is worth between 1 and 6 battle points. The total points needed for a particular league can be found to the right. In general, more points means tougher battles. While you don't have to complete every battle in a league, you'll find your popularity won't rise very quickly if you skip too many. So that's what it's telling you, is that you can do them all, or you can go straight to the end. Now, these right here, like I said, are all training battles. Learn about skills and targeting, learn about facing, learn about height and effects, learn about class relationships, and learn about affinity. And then lastly, you have a training battle. What they do is they let you go straight to the training exam if you want to skip these. There's no fee. There's not really anything you gain, per se. But what I'm going to do these 5 off screen real quick just to knock them out, and then I will like boogity, 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 and we'll come back with a training exam with those done, because I can kind of explain some of that stuff very quickly without you having to sit through the whole process. So wait for that right now, and here we go. We're back. I don't know why I did it that way. I really don't know. But we did all 5 training battles. The reason why I did it, you can see at the bottom, we gained about 400 and something gold dollar, Darnar. I don't remember what the name of it is. You gained about 12% crowd approval, and we also got like 300-ish experience for each of our guys, give or take. So now we can go into the training battle with that. You can see it's still MUNIO'S school, it's still these 2, and we're up against 3 different enemies. Now, basically, when you go here, they're preset. In later battles, you'll have like a whole blue area, and like you can just set your units usually, but sometimes they have specific areas where they're allowed to be set, things like that. And we go. And so this battle is supposed to like sum up everything we've learned so far, and obviously I skipped out from y'all learning it, so I'm just gonna fill you in. And I'll show you what I've learned, which will be what you've learned very soon.
For Munio!
For Munio! Okay, so this is the battlefield, obviously. You've got these boxes, you've got these guys here, things here. Here's the stuff you need to know that it taught us. Hitting enemy from the side or the behind increases damage. Hitting an enemy from above also increases damage. You want to get to the high ground in order to do battle. Star Wars was right about that. And then as far as our opposition, there is 1 Legionnaire, which is basically the same thing as what we are. There is 1 Bandit, and there is 1 Centurion. Legionnaires are medium class units, Bandits are light units, Centurions are heavy units. Heavy beats medium, medium beats light, light beats heavy. Good old-fashioned rock, paper, scissors, weapon triangle, whatever you want to call it. Generally, the idea is heavier units have more raw stats and health and all that good stuff, but they're slower. But the speed difference is negligible enough that they can hit medium units hard and generally overpower them. Mediums have the same relationship to light units. Light units are so much faster than heavier units that they get a bonus to their damage, and more importantly, they also are very, very hard to hit. So it's not always perfect as far as that goes, but it's a good idea. Generally with this fight, what you want to do is you want to have Valens and Ludo for this training battle just get up to the high ground so that they have an innate advantage that way against anyone that comes after them, and then we can go from there. So Cogadubnus, you can see here, he's a light attacking up high, so he only deals 2 damage. He is at a wild disadvantage in this combat. Same thing, notable disadvantage here because he's trying to attack higher. Now you see the things on the side, that is like audience popularity essentially. As you do things, the audience reacts. As you reach the markers along the way, you get bonuses to your units actively and passively during the battle. So first thing I'm gonna do, even though I could just wipe you out, actually I'm going to. I'm gonna try and just go for it with a strike and see if I can't crit. Hita! Okay, and that should set me up to where even a regular hit takes you out next turn. Boom, now you can see, boom, team movement plus, and then team attack affinity plus. So first of all, you'll see here, as far as movement plus, if you're at like a bridge point in your movement, it might give you an extra point of movement. The attack affinity is, you see the little bars underneath, my letter's kind of obscuring at the bottom, but you see the shield, the blue bar that's supposed to be health, and then underneath it, a little bar that's filling up with red. and then the 5 diamonds and 5 little red circles. And you see here, one of those red circles is flashing. The red bar and the red dots are affinity. And with affinity, essentially, it can be used for attacks. In Ludo's case, he has the fire affinity attack. Or it can be used as defense. Every point that's in that bar underneath your health, if someone goes to use an affinity attack, it essentially cancels out an attack with a defense if it's the same element. So Ludo has fire attack. You can see here, Julius just shows his health going down and has a black bar underneath. He has no defensive affinity. Fire affinity attacks could work on him. He does have defensive affinity. You can see that's why the red health is going down, but then there's part filling on the bar. If I was to hypothetically use fire affinity attack on him, for every bit of defensive charge he has, he'd cancel it out. That won't matter in this case. The goal here is we're going to want to wipe him out with regular attacks, and then that should hopefully charge the bar enough that we can use the fire affinity attack on Julius, who doesn't have a defense for it. These are the kinds of things you pick up as you play. So we strike, and again, we're gonna go for broke here. Bam! It's worth it because it's enough that it puts him in range to where one more crit will take him down in a second hit. Oof. But the thing is, you can see we're jockeying back and forth on popularity because they're gonna get hits in. It's gonna happen. I lost the attack affinity boost. Cogadubnus here, he's trying to see if he can. They're trying to focus fire on Ludo because they know if they can take him out, it would be very handy. However, we're good. Now with him, I can just go straight up attack. Ugh! He turned to face me. If he didn't, it would have been Dunyan rings for him. I was trying not to go for the crit for safety, because if it went blue, I knew it wouldn't have been enough. Dang it. Okay, well, we took him down at least. Which matters. We took a hit here. That stinks. But Valen's gonna get a hit in on him. This is pretty much guaranteed to kill. I'll go for the strike to see if it helps with the audience response. It clearly did. Now, Ludo, you don't have enough to do an affinity attack yet, unfortunately, but we're still gonna go for broke here. Dang it! Now here's the thing I will note, and it's very important. There is no permadeath. This isn't Fire Emblem. There are fights where they're like, hey, if anyone falls, you're done, but this is not, like, this is clearly not one of them. Just for your average fight, if someone falls, they fall, that's the end of it. But I'm gonna move here, and I'm gonna swing at you from the side while I can. And basically from here, Valens is technically at a disadvantage, but if you can use a combination of Empower Self and Boosted Height in order to keep the advantage as much as possible, you can handle the situation pretty easily. I could have gone, I was going for the crit, I didn't get it. It would have been nice, but it's not necessary. Where's my attack affinity at? Do I have, oh, he doesn't have air affinity yet, attack yet, that's right. You have to unlock that skill. There is a very robust skill system by class in this game, which we will get to very soon. But, boom, took him down. You can obviously beat this without losing Ludo. It doesn't really matter. Bam, ba-dam, bam, 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 bam. Got 130 bucks, got the talisman. Yeah, you still get experience and everything, even if a character falls in battle, so it's fine. But because I went through those other ones, I have enough experience that Ludo actually leveled up. He earned job points, all that good stuff. We got the talisman for Imperia, which means we're allowed to just compete in Imperia. And you see, we've got to do a bunch of these lesser challenges. But if you see here, inspect, defeat the League Glory of Imperia at the Belfort Arena. Survive Tricata. There's all these different ones all throughout. But you can see the 4 different major regions: Imperia, Nordog, the Expanse, and the Steppes. And then you've got the notable championships for each one, and then that all eventually leads to the major tournament at Caltha, which is like the big end game tournament. Good stuff.
But I think we made a couple of fans.
And here comes the fan service.
Only ones at that.
I hate to break it to you, but those are channelers of the High Sect, priestesses of the Affinity Gods. They're not here to fraternize with us.
Or are they?
Hello, we are Sisters of the Order of Aetius. We have watched you fight, young warriors.
Yeah, they didn't have to be built how they were, but
Thank you.
I see you fight under the flag.
PS2, GameCube, Xbox era, you know, just things like that happen, y'all. I apologize. Also, Jason Marsden has a great flirt voice. I'm just saying.
He was a hero to the people of Imperia.
Yes, and his connection to the affinity gods was strong and true.
How do you two know so much about my father?
Let's just say that the members of the High Sect are fans of the games.
Ludo's a little distracted.
May you prove worthy successors.
Bye, boobies.
School you now lead.
Look at him. Look at that face.
I told you they were fans.
He was wearing the amulet. I hope he understands the responsibility that comes with it.
Yeah, that sounds like a fan.
Will prove himself in time.
That sounds like a fan.
Right, sister. I hope you're right.
It sounds like an absolute fan. How does it not sound like a fan? But tremendous job, Valens. Your school has earned the talisman of travel for Imperia. You may now travel this land freely and compete in the games. You will notice that more leagues have become open to you. Leagues have 3 basic restrictions: school tier, local popularity, and badges earned. Your school is just starting out, so only amateur leagues are open to you. As you defeat regional championships, that was the big one in each section, and move on to later regions, your tier will increase and tougher leagues will let you enter. Every time you win a battle, more people will learn of your school. This popularity is strictly tracked by each league officer. The more popular your school, the more leagues will want you to compete in their games. Finally, as you defeat leagues, you'll be awarded badges, which indicate achievement in battle. Inspect leagues to find out which badges they require and which they can be won, and where they can be won. You will often have to travel to distant towns to gather the needed badges for high-level leagues. Now that you both have a basic understanding of the league system, you should go ahead and try out some of the local battles on your own. We can continue our journey to other locations whenever you'd like, but I would advise that both of you reach level 2 status before we move on. I will wait for you just outside of town. Simply exit the league office and go to the world map to find me. Congratulations, Ludo, on reaching 2nd level. See, they have this right away, because if you skip those other fights, you don't hit level 2. So, like, that's why it comes as a second set of prompts, because anyone who chooses to skip it would have just come here and been like, okay, well, I guess I'll do more fights. Come with me to learn about the school interface. Your practice has paid off. By reaching level 2, you now have more job points to spend learning new skills. Excellent work, Ludo. Well, I am rather good. I'd expect nothing less. Anyway, Eustace, how do I obtain these new skills? Begin by selecting Gladius just from the list on the left, and yeah. Long story short, you can see here your unit's various different stats, things like that. I'm going to skip through it so I can just show you, boom. You have different equipment, you can customize, I will get to that, but skills in this case. So you can see here, the list on the left is all the skills a unit can learn. The list on the right is all the skills a unit has by default. So, in this case, you get, I believe, 10 job points every level. And some skills level up on top of other skills. So, for instance, you can't get Air Affinity Attack 2 unless you have Air Affinity Attack 1. So, I could choose to get Fire Affinity Attack 2 or anything up to these right here. But a bunch of them, they're grayed out either because I don't have the previous skills or because I don't have enough job points. But I have 15, so you can inspect any of these to see damn near every unit is going to have affinity attacks, and specifically they're going to have all the affinity attacks, so you can kind of choose what elements to give people. Certain classes and certain units will essentially be restricted. Just off the top of my head, Murmillos, which are one of my favorite classes and who we will run into, will, I believe, are restricted to water, or essentially restricted to water just because of the skills and stuff, the equipment and stuff they get. Things like that. But generally speaking, you can kind of pick and choose. There's Target Leg, which, as you can see, costs 2 diamonds. Oh, those diamonds, you start with 5. Skills can cost from 1 to 5 SP, or skill points, those diamonds. And you restore 1 per turn. Very Octopath Traveler, believably default, in terms of the restoring 1 per turn. So cost needs to be balanced versus what it does. Target Leg, medium damage that may reduce opponent movement rate. I will say right now, medium damage is kind of shorthand for it's a roughly equivalent to doing a regular attack. So target leg is basically a normal attack, and it lowers opponent movement, which in a vacuum sounds great, but it really only matters if you're trying to do like hit and run tactics. The problem is that when you attack, that ends your turn. You can't like use target leg and then run away and do it. So it's a little weird. Combo attack is very good. It's a multi-hit attack. On guard, which just increases defense. Toughness is just like an innate passive defense boost. Evasion is an innate passive increase to your evasion. Upper hand, which literally can knock people down, which can throw off their next move. And then combo attack 2 is a stronger combo attack. Now notice, I can learn combo attack 2 without learning combo attack 1. In this case, it's not that, so a fire affinity attack 2 is just a more advanced fire affinity attack 1. Combo attack 1 and combo attack 2 are different moves. Combo attack 1 only costs 2 SP, and it's 2 hits. Combo attack 2 costs 3 SP, and it's 3 hits. So like, there are times where you may want to use only one or the other. For right now, I think we're gonna go with a good old-fashioned combo attack 1. Simple, but it gets the job done. And I'll also get toughness. It's a real good just passive increase to your life and health and everything. I'm also gonna show you real quick the customize menu. Every character, you can actually customize things like their skin tone, and this includes the main characters, this includes your recruitable characters, this includes everyone. You can change everyone. So this is kind of like Valen's default, but you can make him look however you want to make him look. Same thing goes with the hair colors. Same thing goes with your outfits and outfit colors. Everyone actually has multiple outfits selectable based on all different things, as well as multiple colors. I've always been a fan of Valen's outfit 3, that blue and silver always appealed to me. And then you can always just reset the defaults. But I really love the fact that you can change their look. Like you can, if you want to play a Black Valens, you just can. Like just do it. There's literally nothing stopping you. Right now we've got basic sword, basic armor, quote unquote, which is just a cape. And then he's got the badge of Eris, which if you check it, it's the elemental affinity boosts and everything. Generally, as you get further in the game, you'll want weapons that have elemental affinity built into them. But you can find accessories that do the same thing, that make it so that every attack will increase whatever affinity, things like that. Ludo, kind of the same, has a badge of Exuro because he has fire affinity. Now, as far as all that goes, before we go on, something I'm going to show you. So the tournament, obviously, we cannot compete in yet because in order to even get into it, we need to have beaten 4 leagues. So we just can't enter it. Plus, we need at least 5 people on our team in order to do it. With leagues, though, you can see here, PIRGOS training is still available. One thing they warn you of, you get experience for every battle you beat. If you try to go back into a league you've already beaten, you will get less experience from it. So, like, you can't freely farm the training match to get, you know, super, super cheap experience every time. And so there's essentially 3 more leagues that have thrown up for us to get into, because this one right here requires that we're actually pro status and have 45% popularity. Even if we clear all these, we might get to 45% popularity. We'll obviously not be a pro status. This is for far higher level stuff. And then recruiting is the recruitment area. Here you will find a variety of warriors ready for battle. There are 2 hiring methods. First, you may temporarily recruit a warrior for a single battle. This is the cheaper option, but you will not be able to give orders to these warriors in battle. They are mercenaries and fight for themselves alone. Temporary recruits are quite useful if you need a particular type of warrior for a single battle. The second method of recruiting requires that you buy the warrior's contract. In exchange for loyal service for as long as you require, you must equip and support this warrior. Permanent recruiting is the way to grow your school. As you get stronger and more powerful, it will be easier to draw strong recruits. Should you decide you no longer need the services of a warrior, you may expel the unit from from your school. Most of the time, you'll be able to re-recruit that unit again, should you desire. So you can see here, a lot of them are very expensive, but this is where you go to recruit new units of all different varieties. You can see here, Channeler, Bandit, Channeler again, Centurion, Bandit, Legionnaire, Peltast, Centurion, Peltast, Secutor, Peltast. And you'll notice on their face, all different levels. You got some level 4, level 5, level 7, level 1, level 2, level 4, level 1. This dude's a level 14. Like, he's way outside your weight class. And even if you tried talking to him, like, it's just not gonna work. Now, for some of these, you can talk to them, and she's like, sorry, but I only joined higher level schools. They just have their own personal requirements that you can't necessarily see on the front end for what they're down to join, as far as your popularity and things like that. Generally speaking, you'll want to recruit Lampolo. He's only a level 1, but he gives you a heavy that you can use right out the gate early on. And then one of the lighter characters, I tend to go with Serwasi, the Secutor. He gives you another super fast character, but I can totally understand if you'd rather try and run around, level yourself up a bit, maybe try one of the leagues with the easier battles, get your popularity up just a tick to see if you can maybe get some of the cool girl characters like Galia or Katra, or maybe even Drosis or something like that. But as it noted, remember, you can recruit people, use them for a bit, and then boot them from your school and re-recruit them later. The exceptions there are like specialty characters and things like that. Like, you can't really do it with those. So if there's characters you recruited under special scenarios, which you will find more of those later, then that's not so much. But for now, in order to get this set, I'm going to go ahead and recruit Lampolo and have him be part of the team, and I'm going to recruit Serwasi so that we have them both on the team. I'm going to try and build up to get Katra the Peltast as well. There's no real difference between her and Quernus, and I'd rather get the cool lady girl throwing spears, which Peltast is a ranged character, by the way. They don't kind of fit into the traditional stuff. One other thing I'm going to show you, history. I'm gonna skip through, but every place you go, you can get a whole breakdown of their history and everything. Go back out to this area, and then you've got MUNIO'S School. That's where you can go to mess with your characters, as you've seen before, getting into all this stuff. You can click the journal in order to see all types of information of what's happened in the story and things like that. You can go to badges in order to see all of the badges you've acquired so far. The Rogues Gallery is literally every type of enemy you've run into, as well as how many of each you have killed, their category, so on and so forth. Statistics is just a full breakdown of any type of information you can imagine, all broken down for you, which is very cool. Then you've got affinities. It breaks down everyone's offensive and defensive affinity for you in one sheet, which is good if you want to kind of balance it out through it. Like right now, I can see Ludo handles fire, Valens handles handles air. You can also see at the top a black one and white one. Dark and light are also affinity, but only specific characters can really use those in any way that matters. So that's something we'll be seeing later on in the playthrough. But you got fire, you got air, so I probably want to make these guys water or earth, either or, on either of them, so that you can get like a nice little distributed balance. And of course, questions, which is literally an FAQ, just breaking down basics of battle and all types of things. Why do I sometimes get a game over screen? Gee, I wonder. But it breaks down that kind of stuff for you. And then obviously this is where you can then go to the arena. The arena is where we just were. Legendary Bartonus. There's different names in every place, but next to the arena you have a store. Legendary Bartonus is the store here.
You can afford. Shops like this carry all the supplies you will need.
Croesus here will talk you through equipping your school.
It is an honor to outfit the son of Munio. Please allow me to show you how to make the best purchases.
I love the voice acting in this game. I love this freaking game. I love it. I'm so happy. I'm so happy to be playing this. He advised you, don't be afraid to chop with, to speak to shopkeepers, things like that. But you can see here, I just want to give y'all an idea. you can see in the bottom left. I'm trying to have my finger like line up at an angle with it. There we go. Bam! You can see right there what the weapon actually looks like. You can also see the elements. Notice everything here is air and earth. Different towns will specialize in different kinds of elements and things like that, which does matter. You can also see on the far right-hand side over there what it'll do to your stats to equip these different weapons. It also won't let you notice, it doesn't say anything for some of these because the character can't equip them. But if you go up, generally speaking, there is, you know, higher attack. Going down there becomes a best choice. Like, technically speaking, the Crow Bill would probably be the best weapon that a medium character like a Legionnaire could equip at this point. But notice it does bring down your accuracy and defense. That is something to consider. And it brings it down noticeably. You're starting off right now with 15 accuracy and 11 defense. That brings you down to 9 and 8. So maybe something like the Bezo, which only loses 2 points of damage, but brings up your accuracy considerably, is worth considering. Things like that. So, you know, just ideas here. Same thing as far as there's some shields. You got some armor options, some helmet options. And by the way, all of these do show up on the character. Like, whatever you see on the bottom, that's what it's gonna look like when the character wears it. Do not buy something you don't want to see, because you're gonna have to see it. And then he doesn't have any accessories for sale. Accessories generally only pop up later. But I wanted you guys to get an idea of kind of the basic layout. I'm gonna do a little shimble shamble between now and the next episode, and then when we come back, we can hop right into some of more of the good stuff, because that's what everyone's here for. More story, more fighting, and more of the good times with our team and our crew and their fun. Hey, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Have you ever played this game before? Have you heard of this game before? Are you aware of this game? Did you own this game? What platform did you own this game on? I'm throwing a lot of things at you. Please shout it all down at the comments. It's homework. It's homework. Do your homework. Okay? Also, leave a like if you liked it. Leave a dislike if you didn't. Subscribe to see more, because we will have more of this coming. And thank you all so very much for hanging out with me. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all. And until next time, catch you later, fam. All right.